This week, we get caught up in March Madness, we take a look at an update to a classic, and we also have some very, very important release dates for you. I am your host, Jacques Slade, and this is the Weekly Review.
My kick's on fire.
With the All-Star break behind us, all focus has turned towards the postseason and the postseason version of sneakers. One of the first postseason sneakers we saw this year was the LeBron 8. The model seen here, it sports a cool gray hue with electric green coming from underneath and also on the outsole. Unlike the original LeBron or the version 2, this model uses hyperfuse for the upper, which makes for better ventilation and a lighter overall frame. Now, the LeBron 8 PS or postseason will be launching on April 13th and will be priced at $150. Let's move on to number 4. We don't usually talk about PEs on the Weekly Review, however, it's March Madness and I think we should make an exception. And that exception is for Georgetown and the University of North Carolina rocking the Air Jordan 2011. Now both pairs will sport a white leather upper with tonal white laces, white mesh, and an icy blue translucent outsole. Now you're asking, what's the difference? Well, the difference is on the patina leather. Georgetown will be rocking a navy blue patina leather and UNC will be rocking a Carolina blue leather. Both of these are scheduled to be on the feet of the players during the March Madness tournament, so make sure you keep your eyes open for those. Let's move on to number 3. At number 3, we continue with the icy sole look with a look at the Nike Sportswear White Pack. The pack will eventually include an Air Force 1, an Air Max 90, and an Air Max BW Gen 2. However, for right now, all we have is the Dunk. The Dunk features a white textured leather upper with a perforated toe and tonal laces. Now, the icy outsole is not there for nothing because there is an asymmetric circle pattern underneath the outsole if you take a look at the bottom of the shoe. Now, we don't have a release date on the other 3, but we do know that the Dunk is available now at Titolo. With that said, let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2 is a pair of shoes that were 15 months in the making and that have a lot of love for the classics. If you don't know what I'm talking about the Converse Star Player 75 by Ronnie Fieg. The model, seen here in both a high and a low, sport an all-leather upper with a perforated calfskin leather lining. Now, the models look pretty simple on the outside, but they have a very elegant touch to them if you take a look at the leather laces, the leather tab, and the embossed logo. Now, you add to that the heritage of the Converse Star logo, and you've got a pair of sneakers that are definitely worth looking for. I sent Ronnie Fieg an email this morning to see if there were any of the shoes still available, and I got a response saying that there are a few pairs still available. However, like the original sale that happened this weekend, you have to go to the flagship David C store in New York or go to davidz.com. With that said, let's move on to number 1. There are not many sneakers that have the sort of buzz that our number 1 sneaker has today. But then again, many of those sneakers are not the Air Jordan 3 Retro True Blue. Yes, we have talked about this shoe countless times here on the review, but an official release date is out there, and I wanted to make sure I let you know early enough so you don't spend all your money before then. So if we can get a little drum roll. That was a horrible drum roll, but you get the point. The Air Jordan 3 Retro True Blue will be dropping on June 4th, and it will be priced at $150. Yes, June 4th, $150 for the Air Jordan 3 Retro True Blue. There are a lot of hot releases between now and then, so I wanted to make sure I let you know early enough where you can save your money and put your money aside to make sure it doesn't come out of the blue and then, oh, get that? Coming out of the blue? That was a joke, not really. But that's the Air Jordan 3 True Blue Retro, June 4th, $150. So now you know, and knowing is half the battle. So let's move on to my personal pick. Welcome to the personal pick, and I asked you guys last week about resellers and how you felt about resellers in line at midnight releases and things like that. And a lot of you expressed your opinion, and I didn't know it would be this much of a controversy about it, but I wanted to read a couple of the emails from some of the better emails that I liked here. This one from K Once, I believe is his or her name. It says, I don't knock anyone's hustle, but I hate that it takes away from people that are actually wanting to purchase the shoes to wear. That is the whole passion of the sneaker game. Whatever happened to that? It used to be fun to go to the mall and get your sneakers on the release date and walk out the mall wearing them that day. Nowadays, I just cop online. I have to wait for shipping, but it's well worth it. If you like the shoe and don't want to be disappointed and pay an arm and a leg for it later. So that's one perspective. Another perspective is from Jogs, and Jogs says, first come, first serve. It doesn't matter if you are a reseller or a collector to the stores. I know it's off of topic, but I'm from Australia and we don't get as much releases as much as us, so I have to buy it from all the resellers. I think what he's trying to say is he's from Australia and they don't get nearly as many releases as everyone else, so he has to buy from resellers. Thanks to the resellers, I'm able to cop shoes that never released in my country. Sadly enough, the real issue is the lack of releases to Australia. So I think Jogs is making 2 points here. He loves the resellers because it allows him to get releases that don't release in his country, and 2, Australia, you need to step your release game up. I don't know who you need to call, somebody at the consulate. You need to get in line and call somebody and say, hey, we need some hot releases because Jogs, he's buying from resellers and we're spending up all his cash. See, Australia, you're making him spend his money in other places because you don't get the releases that he needs. Get it together, Australia. And finally, we have one more from King Mar 2009. He says, I see it like this. If you want a shoe bad enough, you should get in line first. Don't get mad at the people that do resell them and make their money. It's a cold game, and if you're a true sneakerhead, you will be on your grind. I'm out. So King Mar 2009 letting you know, stop being lazy, get off your lazy butt and go get your shoes, and you won't have to worry about the resellers, which is a valid perspective. All of them are actually. So, well, with that said, that is the end of the weekly review. Wait, no, before we cut, I want to know what your holy grail is. Yes, you. I want to know what your holy grail is. Everyone always talks about their holy grail. Next week in the comments, you can leave me a comment or leave me a response, a video response, and I'll put them all in the video. Not all of them, but I'll pick some and put them in the video. What's your holy grail? And very important, why is that your holy grail? Everybody talks about, oh, this is my holy grail, but I want to know why. What is it about that shoe that makes it your holy grail? Well, now this is the end of the weekly review. I am your host, Jacques Slade. If you enjoy the videos, all I ask is that you subscribe. If Twitter and Facebook is your thing, there's a link down here in the description. As always, I appreciate you. I thank you for watching the videos. I am your host, Jacques Slade. This is the weekly review, and I will see you next week. Peace.